What's going on, YouTube? Lasagna here, back with another episode of Road to 2000. And before our regularly scheduled programming, I thought I'd just say a couple of words about the news. If you guys haven't heard, Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky passed away a few days ago. Don't have the details on how or why, but I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge his great contributions to the chess space. I'm somebody that watched his content very regularly. In fact, you may have noticed my entire opening repertoire is completely based off of his speedrun series. So I actually watched that to help myself improve as a player. And yeah, Daniel just had a great way of explaining the game and just had a unique talent to be able to present a position and explain it so that anybody could understand. And just a terrible loss to the chess community. So hopefully everybody out there is dealing with it all right and wishes family condolences. So that's about all I have to say on that note. Just stay safe out there, folks, and take care of yourselves. In today's episode, we're starting at 1666. And let's hope we get the black pieces. Okay, I really wanted to play an accelerated dragon because that's the opening I learned from GM Naroditsky, but I also learned this line from GM Naroditsky. You know, the King's Indian, the accelerated dragon, all that, the Alpin Sicilian, all from his speedrun series. And if you guys haven't watched that and you're looking to improve at chess, it's just a phenomenal resource. So this is a line that I learned from his videos, where you attack the pawn here. And I'm probably not going to do it justice, but yeah, I learned many openings, many chess ideas, all from Naroditsky. So hopefully we can put some of it into practice today. All right, so we get d takes c5. So this one is hanging. Not sure if it's a good idea to take that one. I think I'm just going to take on c5 here. And usually the idea is to play d6, g6, bishop g7, castles, and just get a pretty pleasant position, I think. It's kind of reminiscent of some, you know, Sicilians, like the accelerated dragon and stuff, mainly just where you put the pieces and the pawns. I guess White's setup's a little bit different because he didn't play e4, but yeah, I like these positions. Sometimes your queen can get a little bit off sides, but yeah, we got tons of squares here, so I think we're okay. And I didn't mention, but we were playing Copito 11. That's just a free knight there, if I'm not mistaken. It's interesting stuff. Copito is from Bulgaria. All right, so you know, we're doing very well here. Just up a piece. It's kind of interesting. I could go knight d5 here, which attacks the rook, which is kind of a sneaky move because he's probably going to think I'm trying to put pressure on the bishop. But really, I'm attacking this. We'll see if he notices that. We might get a pretty quick game here if not. But if he plays, I don't know, rook b1, then, I mean, I could also just take the bishop, and I think we're just, you know, loving life here. Are there any other moves? I am noticing if I like move the queen, then I am threatening a fork here, which seems pretty attractive. But I could take. Takes, rook a1. Oh, he doesn't have rook a1 there, so yeah, this. And that's another lesson I learned from GM Naroditsky is whenever you have a good move, you know, winning the bishop pair here, having the uncontested dark square bishop, you got to look for something better. And, you know, taking the pawn maintains this threat here, so let's, so if I go here, I guess you can counterattack my queen, but I can just desperado and then take the queen, so let's go for the fork here. and we're going to be up a lot of material. That's free lady. We'll take it. Maybe he was hoping I'd like take so that he'd have checkmate here, but too sharp for that, Mr. Capito. We'll see if we get a resignation here. Now he's gonna play on. I mean, he has no pieces left is the issue, so I think I'm just gonna take the rook. And take the pawn, and we are officially up 16 points of material. I'd call that an opening success. Let's just get our pieces out, castle the king, and try to end this game pretty quickly here. Just drop the queen back here, I suppose. I could have taken as well, but... so we could just take... I mean, I have enough material here, though. I'm just going to castle and play like this. Just push the pawn all the way up the board with the support of the bishop here. So maybe I should actually take this pawn here so that I can just have a clear path to promotion. Let's just go here. Pieces are all on pretty good squares here, fighting for the center. So let's just take the pawn. If he goes here, yeah, there's like an x-ray, but I don't think it's super dangerous because my knight's defended by a pawn. I guess let's just try to trade some pieces. Hitting the bishop here. Again, I just want to... Let's just trade more pieces. We'll take this one too, and then just push our pawns. There's also check here, and can I win the rook there? I don't think I can win the rook, but... Oh, there's this check. Yeah, that just wins the rook. All right, so should be pretty easy to win this. Let's just try to checkmate him. See if we can't create some sort of mating net here. Okay, I'm gonna put my queen here, and I wanna go check here and take this one. This is my idea. Okay, that's just checkmate. So GG's to Copito, and let's take a look at the analysis real quick. So nice game there. We played with a 92.8% accuracy, so not many mistakes. And yeah, not much to talk about in this game just because he blundered everything. But yeah, I like to play Queen B6 against, like, this is kind of like the London. And you can like play the King's Indian kind of setup normally, but when your opponent brings the bishop out here, it leaves this pawn undefended. So the idea with Queen B6 is to just hit the center as well as this pawn, which is actually kind of hard to defend. And I think the best move is Knight C3, and it's got some, kind of reminds me of like the Jobava London a little bit, where maybe this knight and this bishop could team up on this square, but yeah, it's okay for black. I like this opening. We get the trade of the pawns here. Okay, queen takes b2 was better, but this is fine. We go d6, g6, bishop g7, and he blunders the knight. And I think this is probably the most instructive moment of the game, where like, yeah, knight takes f4 is a move. Engine says it's 5th best, but moving the queen somewhere and keeping this threat alive, I think, was just a little bit stronger. Because now he's just nailing the coffin, right? Like, he's losing more material, and his position is just completely falling apart. We have the huge bishop on the diag, so... but he hangs his queen. You know your position's bad when queen g4 is considered a good move in this position. And the rest was pretty standard here. Just traded off all the pieces and orchestrated some sort of mating net here. And my idea with queen e3 in this position, oops, was that if he just does nothing, then I was going to play check here and takes, and this is checkmate here. So yeah, just getting the queen over to assist in checkmating the king. Obviously, there's 1,010,000 different ways to win the position. You can make another queen, you can take all of his pawns, but just try to find a pretty quick mate there, and worked out. So we definitely have time for one more game here, so let's jump in. And let's see what we get this game. I'm going to play e4, and maybe we'll get our Alapin. That would be kind of nice. Play like a Naroditsky. Now he also played some Vienna as well, so I did learn some of the Vienna from Naroditsky as well as Gotham chess. So we've seen this opening before where they go c6, and after the trade in the center here, it's not very good for black because we have good control over this square, and this move isn't very good because, again, we have a lot of control here, so he's going to have a hard time pushing this pawn. He's also moved this pawn twice in the opening, which is obviously a waste of time. So our moves have consisted of developing a piece, controlling the center, and now our queen's actually on kind of an annoying square for him because it was pinning this pawn. But yeah, I think we can probably just go knight f3. And maybe bishop e3. There's lots of moves here. This isn't something that I've like studied or anything, but we do have this really nice outpost for the knight because he's got a backwards pawn here. So positionally, I think we're much better. g6. Now I do have the option to play e5 here, trying to clamp down on the development square for the knight. But then maybe he just plays bishop g7 and he's attacking my pawn here. I could go here, bishop c4, and just... That looks okay to me. I'm guessing he'd play like a6 to try to fork me or something. I think bishop c4 makes sense to me. I don't want to spend all day, so... If he plays a6, he actually isn't even threatening b5 anyways, because I could just take it because of the pin here. So black's got some issues to resolve. I'm just kind of wondering if he goes bishop g7, knight e7, and castles, like where my advantage is going to be exactly, but... I don't know. We'll come across that bridge when we get to it. We do get bishop g7. Now, getting the knight to this square looks pretty interesting. Like knight b5. How does he defend this? Like he could go here, I guess. Bishop f4 there. If he takes, then check. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I think I am going to try knight b5. Can he go here, maybe? I didn't look at that move. No, he can't. We have two defenders, and he has only one, so... Yeah, interesting position. I think he might be in some trouble, because since his bishop left this diagonal, like this check looks kind of dangerous, but I don't know. Maybe it's superficial and he has a way to defend against this, but we'll see. Yeah, that's what I was calculating. I think I'm just going to go here. And we're going to have rook d1 with the pin here, and we're also renewing this threat. Let's go check. And we're also hitting this now. And this just looks like a complete disaster. We have rook d1 as well, and yeah, I think my opponent's going to pay the price here for some questionable opening play. So we can take here with the fork. We could also take with the bishop. Taking with the bishop means he can't really fork me, but if takes b5, takes, and takes, I think we're happy there. So let's just take with the knight. Okay, I guess he wants the queen trade. We're kind of forced to take it. But I mean, we're gonna win the rook here. There's also check. Could just move the bishop too. Like there's no rush to take the rook here. Here, 97. Could even just pin him. Well, if we pin him there, then he can go here. I think this move does look correct. I'm gonna go here. No rush. And we're also ahead 2 pawns, so like if we're ahead 2 pawns and an exchange, surely that's gonna be enough material to win the game. I mean, he can like take here, but then we could even just have this move. Here, check. I think it's fine. We could go like, bring the bishop back, or go here, or even just move the king somewhere. King up kind of makes sense to me, like the queens are off the board. Let's just bring the king up. No need to overcomplicate it. All right, it's time to take the rook. Let's just take back here. Rook here looks normal to me. There is a check, but it doesn't do much. I guess it does win this pawn. Check here, takes. Knight c4. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's just take the pawn. I'd like to get my other rook in the game. Maybe just rook e1. Attacking the rook. Yeah, slight inaccuracy there. Should have went to this square probably. Check. King e3 or king d3. Yeah, I mean, I guess the game's not over. We go here, takes, rook takes, and that should be winning. Just can't waste all the time in the world trying to figure out how to save this pawn. When we're about to make another girl here, presumably. Like, if he takes here, yeah, I mean... just move this over, I suppose. Push the pawn. Should be pretty easy conversion. I would play this move if I was him, probably. Might even be able to just push there, though. Here takes... no, that's no good. I mean, maybe there's rook there, but no, let's not do that. Maybe just pin the bishop. Threatening this. If he checks me, I guess I'll just go king d7 or king d2. I just want to go here. Maybe play g4. Because you'd have to leave this diagonal. Yeah, let's go here. He's gonna have to go here. Then maybe... I don't know, we'll figure it out from there. Just go here, I guess. Does give him this check. Gotta be careful here. Let's just make sure everything's defended. I guess this does hang a pawn. Then he gets pinned. Could also attack this one. This knight's pinned as well, but he has this check. Pin works both ways, though. Like, if check... I mean, the bishop's defending here, so we could literally play anything. Just move this, I guess. Kind of fumbling the bag here a little bit, but... so now the rooks are looking at each other and I'm attacking the knight. Why is this so hard to win? This rook is just doing nothing. Gonna try to not talk so I can try not to lose the game here. If he goes here, there's check. Yeah, I think I win the rook here. Yeah, we just win the rook. We're good. All right, that was way too difficult for how much material I was up, but sometimes chess is hard like that, to actually like convert these positions where you're winning. But anyways, we got there in the end. That was just a little bit of a jump scare, but let's take a look at the analysis. 2 wins for the good guys today, and we're at 1689, guys. Maybe we'll get to 1700 next episode. You never know. But yeah, we played the Vienna here. And my opponent plays this line with c6, I guess aiming to play this, but it's not the best because after the trade in the center here, black just kind of has problems executing his idea because there's a lot of control, and he doesn't have the c6 square to kick away my queen, so it's just a better position for white. And now we're way better because he wasted time, and you can't really waste a bunch of moves like this as black when you have no pieces developed. So I go queen to a4, he goes knight c6, and we just develop our pieces. Bishop c4 here. Again, I wasn't scared of the move a6 with the fork here because I could just take with the knight or the bishop, and I would win the rook because of the pin. So bishop c4, we get bishop g7, and was knight b5. Knight b5 was the best move, so proud of that. You know, black created some holes in his camp here, so you always gotta, ask yourself how to actually exploit your opponent's mistakes, because there's no way he can get away with playing c6, b5, fianchettoing his bishop as black. It just, something's got to give. So knight b5 here, trying to exploit this square. And d6 doesn't help because bishop f4 just renews this threat. And it's actually kind of hard for black to defend here. Engine says bishop to e5, which after takes, and rook d1. This line's very good according to the engine. Queen e7, and knight d6 check. Knight d6 check is just unstoppable here. But he plays a6, which just encourages me to take the pawn with check here. And wow, engine wants queenside castles in this position. That's a nice move. I mean, knight takes f7 is also good though. I thought even taking with the bishop was probably okay, but I guess g5. And there is knight takes b5, but then he can take here, and I guess we're still winning. But no need to do any of that. We just take with the knight. And queen a5, I didn't see this move, but I mean, trading into this winning endgame is obviously good for us. King e2 is okay. Bishop d2 was the best move, so I thought since the queens were off the board, king e2 made some sense just to keep it centralized and protect some of the squares in the center. But, I did have to be careful for a lot of checks down the line, so yeah, maybe bishop d2 was just a bit safer. It's a tight balance you have to strike when to move your king, because obviously there's still a lot of minor pieces and rooks on the board, so although king e2 is okay, it just, it's just a spectrum of king safety versus keeping it active. You gotta kind of, it's a fine line, and it's hard to make these decisions sometimes. But I play king e2, we get knight f6, I take the rook, we get a trade in the center, and he takes the knight back, and we get this position. I decide to make the check and take the pawn. He goes bishop g4, and I'm kind of wondering what I did wrong here, because I kind of made a hash out of this. Rook h1 is good, although it's a little bit inaccurate because of I just have to move it again. He goes here, and let's see, was I supposed to try to find a way to defend this pawn? Yeah, knight d4 was not best. It wanted me to play bishop d4. Aha. Oh, that's a better way to do it, because if he takes, now this is protected. I did it the other way. But yeah, this makes a lot of sense. It's a forcing move. You know, it's challenging the bishop, which is hanging. So, and if you just move, he actually can't move it away. Like, he has no squares. So this just forces the trade. And this position's a lot cleaner. You know, we have some pressure on the bishop here, which can't spy this pawn anymore. So you just have to go like bishop d7 here, and you know, we're gonna get an outpost for the knight. The files are working, and yeah, that was the way forward. So just inverted the move order there, and we get this position, and yeah, a lot of shuffling here because you know, the knight was getting jumpy, and I guess after bishop takes a2, I'm losing some of my advantage here with the two outside pass pawns here. Yeah, so we lose the pass center pawn there. And we get some moves, and I think eventually he does take that corner pawn. In this position, it's a bit worse, though, because his king's kind of in some sort of mating net here, trapped in the center of the board. So we're able to actually win the rook, luckily. Or, well, win the knight, because he had to block, because otherwise he would lose the rook. So yeah, we would have just been up a rook and a pawn in this position, so he resigned the game. So a good couple of games there. I'm glad I could do Naroditsky's openings justice. And again, guys, check out his videos. They're so good if you're an intermediate, beginner level player trying to improve at chess. And yeah, thank you all for watching. If you like the video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.